What's up, good people? Welcome to the review of the Cougar MX600 RGB case. If you remember from my past videos, I reviewed a case from Cougar and I was most pleasantly surprised with the quality of that case. So let's see what's the deal here. This is the new model and it seems to be even better, so let's check it out. Looking for affordable Windows or Office keys? Look no further, I got you covered. Head over to scdkey.com, pick your Windows edition, use my discount code LE25 to get a 25% on any Windows or Office products. Once you complete your order, after a few seconds you will receive your code. In Windows, go to Settings, there should be an Activate Windows prompt at the bottom. Click that, enter your code and wait for Windows to finish activation. To check the activation status, use the command prompt with the command slmgr.vbs/xpr and you should receive a notification that the machine is permanently activated. Once again, use code LE25 at scdkey.com. The case has unusual design with the perforated front mesh and side mesh as well, with the glass sitting on top of it. Honestly, it reminds me of the CH560 from Deepcool. The dimensions of this case are 235 by 515 by 478 mm. The front of the case has a large metal mesh piece with wide squared holes to allow for maximum fresh air intake. It is super easy to remove, by the way, just pull it from the top. There is a layer of fine mesh there as well, which is pulled from the top for easy cleaning. This of course reveals that this case comes with three 140mm fans here in the front, and Cougar even went a step further while designing this case, so they made a complete front fan bracket removable. So just pull these levers in the front and the whole fan assembly will come out. Same approach as with the Lee cases, it's super easy and friendly to use. You can mount either 3 120 or 3 140mm fans here, but only up to 360mm radiators. Fans are the Cougar's own JGR 140 fans with a speed of 500 RPM up to 1200 RPM. They are PWM of course and are super silent in operation, giving you plenty of fresh air in return. Actually even more thanks to the squared pattern holes, which technically increases air intake up to 10% opposed to the circular ones. The air intake and the importance of a good airflow do not stop here. There is a curved part on the bottom that directs air where it's needed the most, the GPU of course. There is another part responsible for air direction too. I will get to this once we get to the interior of the case. And of course, to get there you first need to remove the tempered glass panel. It's a simple procedure of pulling it out as it's held by pegs at the top. The glass is 4mm thick and as you can notice the bottom part of the case is not fused with the glass part. They are two separate pieces and removing the bottom part is straightforward. It's a fine mesh on it since the PSU shroud is completely perforated and is used as an air intake here as well. Here we have an accessories box and it's a pretty dope thing, a vertical GPU bracket, but sadly there is no vertical GPU holder, so you'll need to get one yourself. The interior is huge and supports extended ATX and all other motherboard sizes as well. If you look at the right, you can see that the covers that cover the holes for the cables are angled. This is what I meant, that there is another part responsible for air direction. This is that part, as it further channels the air towards the GPU area. There is also a GPU anti-sag bracket present here, as we have more and more bulky GPUs now, so this is slowly becoming a must. There are holes for cable pass-throughs up top, no rubber grommets on them. Anyhow, if you use an AIO, they will be covered by the radiator anyway. The PSU shroud is completely perforated and it comes with a bracket on which you can mount two 120mm fans for directed airflow for better GPU cooling. Speaking of bulky GPUs, you have 400mm of clearance for it and up to 180mm for the CPU tower coolers. At the rear side you can mount up to 140mm fan in size and you do get one 120mm fan here pre-installed. This is the JGR 120 model, 500 up to 1400 RPM PWM and RGB of course enabled. Up top you can install 3 120mm or 3 140mm fans and radiator support is up to 360mm. But one big drawback, at least for me, is the included flimsy magnetic dust filter. You know how I stand about those. While we are at the top, the I/O panel is located on the right side and it includes a big power button, RGB switching button, two light indicators, two USB 3.0 ports with headphone mic and combo jack between them and a USB-C port. The back side of the case reveals the holes for the 140mm fan that can be used here, and also a removable PCI bracket, so you can use that vertical GPU bracket that comes with the case. Of course, you have to understand that if you decide to vertically mount your GPU here, you will lose the ability to mount 120mm fans on the PSU shroud. The PSU installation is done from the inside of the case, there are no brackets here, but there is a lengthy dust cover which can be pulled from the backside for easy maintenance. The rear panel is also perforated in the bottom area and also has a fine mesh dust filter on it. It is held by pegs in place, of course, and once you remove it you will be greeted with a clean interior thanks to this metal door here that hides the cable mess. At the bottom hard drive cage you have the plastic screw and zip tie box. It's a handy thing to have. You can notice that it comes with a fan and RGB controller pre-installed, with the support for up to 6 fans in total. It also has 2 SSD caddies as well as hard drive cage at the bottom, which limits the PSU support up to 180mm in size, but luckily it is completely removable, giving you more space for the PSU and cables. Speaking of cables, Cougar is really committed to giving you the best possible cable management experience with Velcro straps at all places that really matter. For example, check out the rear side where the CPU power cables are going. They are usually mounted here, so we have Velcro straps in the correct places. The performance in this case is great. As expected, the CPU idles at 26 to 27 degrees using Cougar's Poseidon Elite 360 AIO. While gaming it was in mid-40s, and at max stress it held in lower 70s, which tells me that this case is performing great. I did mount a GPU vertically just to see how it is being cooled. This GPU is hot by the design. It managed to idle at 40 degrees due to its design and small fans, but the load while gaming was pretty decent, going up to 68 degrees usually. This card hits 70 plus, but I guess that front fans and that angled air duct is doing what it's supposed to do. This case is available at all major retailers for a price of $170 in both black and white colors, and in my opinion what it gives you in return is pretty much justified. It has extremely great airflow with support for up to 9 fans. It has great looks, there is no denying that fact. You get the support for vertical GPUs and in a correct spot as well, so thick RTX 40 cards can sit properly in the middle of the case, not touching the glass. It has great clearances for it as well, and CPU heatsinks in case you decide for air cooling. And on top of it all you get a PWM and RGB controller. Case closed, sold. Thanks for watching guys, sub to the channel, it really helps the channel grow, and like and share the video as usual, and I'll see you in the next one.